Well, joining me now to discuss Gen Z's financial fallout from this pandemic is Elizabeth Crofoot, senior economist at the Conference Board. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So as we're hearing now, Generation Z, at least in the short term, is set to bear the brunt of the ensuing financial chaos. Break down why.
There's a couple of reasons. And first of all, we're in a recession, and generally younger workers tend to suffer more during these times anyway. We see that their unemployment rates are going to go up faster than their 25 and older counterparts. So they're going to have less opportunities. They're going to have to start competing with others that have more education and more work experience as employers start to upskill, which happened after or during the Great Recession as well. So there's a lot more competition. It also means the other reason is because those industries that are being most impacted by the pandemic are those that are requiring a lot of social distancing, and those industries tend to have a higher concentration of those younger workers.
So give us an example of some of those careers, because as we're seeing, working age Gen Zers have jobs that are more likely to be shut down due to COVID-19.
Right. I mean, the big one is food services. And just to give you a sense, a perspective, in general, about 12% of total employment in the U.S. are workers ages 16 to 24. But in food services, certain occupations, for example, in cafeteria workers or hosts and hostesses at restaurants, almost 80% of those employees are younger in that age range. Other examples include dishwashers, bartenders, cooks, those types of occupations, around 40 to 45%. In other industries, healthcare, childcare, so kindergarten teachers, for example, also dental assistants, in hotel and lodging, those concierges and hotel reception desk employees tend to be younger. Also recreation, fitness, and leisure, so at your local gym, those employees tend to be on the younger side as well. So it's that swath of occupations in those industries that are really impacting those younger workers.
And we've also seen that many Gen Zers have had an interruption in their education. Some have even left school. And it's also been a wake-up call in terms of the kinds of education that we need to match the jobs and workplaces of the future. Talk about some of the long-term opportunities and challenges that this period in time brings with it.
Well, like you said, I think students now are really trying to consider, what are my options? And there are many considering a gap year. And those gap years can have really long-term consequences. In general, those gap years are for students that tend to be more well-off. They can afford to take that year to go travel, to explore career opportunities. But in this case, it's really, the pandemic is forcing students who wouldn't otherwise take that gap year to think about other options. And there is research that shows that students who don't go to school right away have lower graduation rates than those that do right after high school start their college career.
And I want to talk about shifts. I mean, after a big economic shock, and with every generation, we do tend to see some of these longer-term economic shifts play out. We saw that with the 2008 financial crisis. What are some of the long-term economic shifts that could be caused for Gen Z?
Well, what happens after these recessions or during recessions is that these this generation that's entering the labor market may not have the opportunity to catch up later in terms of the wages, their earnings potentials, and the job opportunities. So during a recession, for new entrants in the labor market, their unemployment rates will go up, and also their wages will come down at much faster rates than for other employees. So they're already looking at lower wage rates. And then also, because of those job opportunities aren't there, they're going to get stuck in lower wage, lower quality jobs that really impacts them for the rest of their lives. They can get stuck in, by mid-career, they're not where they would have been otherwise in a different labor market. So these people, generally by mid-career, they have a less tendency to own a home, to get married. They're saving less for retirement. They have more debt. So it has long-term ramifications for the rest of their lives.